I'm on the green. Now what do I do?
Put it in the hole. No, you can't do that. You can't do that either.
It's not your job on the green to put the ball in the hole. In fact, as we just illustrated, you're not even allowed to put the ball in the hole. Well, stick around because in this video, I'm going to help you understand exactly what your job is on the green, which will reduce your frustration on the putting green, help you have a lot more fun playing golf, and it'll help you get it in the hole way more often. This video is the first of 3 videos on the subject of the biggest mistakes that people make when putting. In the next video, we're going to talk about setup mistakes, and then we'll talk about stroke mistakes and how to fix those. But today, we're going to talk about mental mistakes that you make when putting. And the biggest mental mistake that most golfers make is not understanding what your job is. If you think it's your job to get the ball in the hole when you're on the putting green, you're going to spend a lot of your time frustrated because you can't control that. Think about it this way. 40% of your strokes in a round of golf are on the green. 80% of those strokes on the green come from 8 feet or less. And so it's normally mentally we think, yeah, I ought to make a lot. My job's to get it in the hole. But if you think that way, you're going to be frustrated because even the tour pros make less than half their putts from 8 feet and more. At 7 feet 10 inches, they drop to 50%. At 8 feet, they're all the way down, only making 49%. A scratch golfer only makes 2 out of 3 putts from 5 feet and longer, which means if you think it's your job to get it in the hole, you're going to be frustrated and upset and have negative self-talk and feel like you're not a very good golfer. So let's talk about what your job is when you're putting. Your job is to get the ball started rolling on your intended line at your intended speed. That's it. After that, gravity takes over. You can make a good putt. In fact, we're going to redefine. There's a difference in making a putt and holing a putt. If you like the way that it left the putter face, if it was rolling on your intended line and you hit the speed that you intended, you struck it in the center of the face, you made the putt. Now, it may not go in the hole, but there's a difference in making the putt and holing the putt. Many years ago, and a lot of people have repeated this and proven it over and over and over again, Dave Pelz used a little putting rail system and he dropped the ball from the same distance on the same line, 10 balls, and only about 7 out of 10 would go in the hole, and these were perfect putts. And so your definition needs to be, I make a perfect putt whether it goes in the hole or not. But this distinction between making a putt, you like the way that it left the putter face and you hit a good putt, and it going in the hole will help ease your frustration and help you not to have so much negative self-talk and doubt when you're standing over putts. And by the way, that's the second mental mistake, is all of these thoughts in our head and doubt and not committing to our line. All of that is a big mental mistake that we make in putting. Very simply put, you need to learn how to read the greens, set up properly, and make a good stroke. By the way, I created an online course that covers all of that and will help you with that. There's more information on that in the video description. But you've got to learn to commit to a putt and not have too many negative thoughts. Another mental mistake is thinking too many mechanical thoughts. Oh, I need to make sure I have a perfect arc, or I make sure I have a nice pendulum stroke. No, you don't need to be thinking about that. Now listen, I'm not opposed to swing thoughts, but a lot of you get way too many swing thoughts going in your head. 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most. For me, when I have swing thoughts, it's very simply back, through, hold the finish. Back, through, hold the finish. Not thinking anything mechanical or technical. Sometimes I use a little 14-inch ruler and I've got an intermediate target out 9 inches from the ball, and I want to go straight back and through during that first 5 inches behind the ball, but I'm not thinking about a straight back and through pendulum, or I'm not thinking about, okay, it arcs after this. I just let all of that go and think back, through, hold the finish. You want to hold on to that thought of holding the finish because it's a cure for one of the mental mistakes that virtually every golfer makes and doesn't even realize that they're making it. You also, when it comes to swing thoughts, you don't have to have a whole lot of swing thoughts. A lot of people, and I do this quite often, is I'll get into the habit of simply my swing thought is purely the target. I pick a spot out beside the hole, that's my start line. I pick a spot 8 or 9 inches in front of my ball, and that's my start line, my intermediate target. And I think about that target and the distance, that target out in front of my ball, and then it's simply I'm standing up over the putt, and my thought process is, okay, I've got the line, and then I imagine in my mind seeing the ball roll up that line and go into the target, and I see it in real time speed, and I think, okay, got the line, got the speed, make the stroke, hold the finish. I've got the line, I've got the speed, back, through, hold the finish. And that's it. Sometimes, and a lot of players do really well, and if you find yourself getting bogged down with swing thoughts, do this. Have no swing thoughts at all. Just think about the target, only the target, or don't even think about anything. A lot of times I putt purely to like a natural rhythm for me, like I'll be humming or singing my favorite song. And I try to sing it quietly because I sang in the shower once and the water turned off. It's just, I don't sing well, and I don't want to turn people off to the greatest rock and roll song in the history of the world. So inside my head, I'm playing the Rolling Stones' Honky Tonk Women, but there's no noise coming out. It's just a mental trick that I do so that I don't have negative thoughts, so that I'm not really bogged down in swing thoughts and get all stiff, that things just keep flowing. There's a rhythm there in my head. You might try that, it'll help your thoughts. Now, one last thing on thoughts that is the biggest mental mistake that people don't realize they even make, and that's this. You don't have a post-putt routine. If you watch this channel any at all, or if you've taken any of my online courses, you know that I'm big on having a putting routine because it solves so many of your problems. I'm big on having a green reading routine because it solves so many of your problems. Here's a really simple post-putt routine, and that's simply this. On every putt, and I really want you to emphasize this back, through, hold the finish, but immediately once the putter or the ball leaves your putter face and you're standing there holding the finish, I want you to ask yourself, do I like the way that left? Did I hit my line? Did I hit my speed? Did I strike the ball with the center of the putter face? If that was a good stroke, well, now you have an opportunity to learn something. So hold that finish. Did I like the way that left? Yeah, I did. Did it go in the hole? No, it didn't. Well, I learned something about my green read. Or, oh, I didn't notice that bump from an old ball mark in front of there. I learned I need to pay more attention to that. Or, wow, I learned this green's not really as fast as I thought it was. I need to make an adjustment or two on my speed. But you learned something. And if you hit a bad stroke and you're holding that finish and you ask yourself, did I like the way that one left? Nah, I didn't do that. But you can't learn anything from a bad stroke. So don't start criticizing yourself and going, oh, I'm terrible, and all of that crap that we normally do. Simply, if you have a bad stroke and you're holding that finish, you go, whoops, that was not a good one. And you may have a little secret word that you say or whatever, but then immediately, before you leave that spot, go back, set up, back through, hold the finish. Yeah, that's it. Think about what this does for you. That gets rid of the negative thoughts, gets rid of the self-doubt and the lack of commitment. And it also, even after you hit a bad putt, you've set yourself up for, okay, yep, that's the stroke. And when you hit a bad one and you make that follow-up stroke that you got right, just remind yourself, yeah, that was a good one. Some little memory thing so that you walk off of that green with the confidence that even though you missed the putt, it didn't go in the hole and you made a bad stroke, you immediately, as part of your post-putt routine, set up and make a good stroke, and then you can go, yeah, that's it, that's the stroke. Really locks in your positive attitude. You'll have a lot more fun. If you'll do these things where you understand that your job on the green is to get it started on your line and speed. If you'll eliminate the negative thoughts and the overly mechanical and really thinking too much on the swing and just think about back, through, the target, or nothing at all, and if you'll develop a post-putt routine, you'll be able to walk off of every green with the confidence that the last putting stroke you made was a good stroke. And that will increase your enjoyment of the game, your confidence putting. You'll end up holing a lot more. And if you like that sort of thing, then you ought to give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, put your comments below. And of course, check out this video on the screen now. And until next time, here's to you making every putt and holing a lot more putts.